CLT. What is CLT? CLT is a language teaching approach based on the linguistic theory of communicative competence and the idea that learning language successfully comes through having to communicative real meaning. When learners are involved in real communication, the natural strategies for language acquisition will be used, and this will allow them to learn to use the language. In the classroom, activities guided by the communicative approach are characterized by trying to produce meaningful and real communication at all levels. As a result, there may be more emphasis on the skills than systems. Lessons are more learner-centered, and there may be use of authentic materials. The goals of CLT are to enable the students to communicate in the target language, to be able to differentiate both formal and informal form of language and be able to use it appropriately, and develop a grammatical competence and communicative competence that includes know how to use language for a range of different purposes and functions, know when to use formal and informal speech, know how to produce and understand different types of text like narratives, reports, interviews, and conversations, and know how to maintain a communication. The roles. The teacher role. Teachers in communicative classroom will find themselves talking less and listening more, becoming active facilitators of their students' learning. The teachers set up the exercise, but because the student's performance is the goal, the teacher must step back and observe, sometimes acting as referee or monitor. Teacher had to develop a different view of learners' errors and her or his own role in facilitating language learning. Teacher as a facilitator, answering, giving advice, and monitoring students' performance. Okay, and the student role. The students do most of the speaking, and frequently the scene of classroom during a communicative exercise is active, with students leaving their seats to complete a task. Because of the increased responsibility to participate, students may find they gain confidence in using the target language in general. Students are more responsible managers of their own learning, and students have to become comfortable with listening to their peers in group work or peers work tasks rather than relying on the teacher for a model. Students as a communicator. Students actively using speaking skill in order to understand and understanding other students.
Important skills. Students work on all four skills from the beginning: speaking, listening, reading, and writing, but speaking is more emphasized. Language elements: grammar, vocabulary, and fluency. Students' native language. Students are allowed to use the native language, but they are hoped to communicate in the target language as much as possible. Errors are seen as natural outcome. The teacher may note the students' errors and give feedback to the students. Method of CLT: scrambled sentences, picture strip story, role play, conversations. Design: an integrative and content level, language as means of expression. A linguistic and instrumental level, language as a semiotic system and objective of learning. An effective level of interpersonal relationships and conduct, language as a means of expression, values, and judgments about oneself and others. A level of individual learning needs, remedial learning based on error and analysis. A general educational level of extra linguistic goals, language learning within the school curriculum. Conclusion: communicative language teaching is best considered an approach rather than a method. It refers to a diverse set of principles that reflect a communicative view of language and language learning, and that can be used to support a wide variety of classroom procedures. These principles include: learners learn a language through using it to communicate. Authentic and meaningful of communication should be the goal of the classroom activities. Fluency is an important dimension of communication. Communication involves the integration of different language skills. Learning is a process of creative construction and involves trial and error.
Good morning, guys. Today we learn about the comparative and superlative adjectives. The comparative adjectives are used to compare differences between the two objects, okay? We add er to the adjective, a short adjective like tall. We add er to the end of the adjective, taller, okay? We use the word than to compare between two objects, two things, okay? Like Angel is taller than, okay, Mario. Okay, Angel, can you read it, please?
Angel is taller than Mario.
Okay, we use the word more when the adjective is long, okay? Like expensive. We don't use er because the adjective is long. Then we use more expensive. Okay? Kimberly, give me an example of this, please.
This jacket is more expensive than these blues.
Superlative adjectives. We use the superlative adjectives when we compare in general. We add the est when the adjective is short, and we add the most when the adjective is long. An example: Jose is the tallest of the class. And with the must, an example is iPhone is the most expensive cell phone.
Okay, guys, now
We have a debate.
we have a debate about, I don't know, whatever. Tell me.
Restaurants in Shela.
Okay, restaurants in Shela, perfect. What restaurants?
El portal.
El Portal and?
El puente.
Okay, in this debate you have to use the comparative and superlative adjectives, okay? We work in pairs. Please, Kimberly and Angel, come here. And you. The team Del Puente and the team El Portal. Okay? Come on.
El portal has more types of hamburgers than El puente.
The Puente hamburgers are bigger than the El Portal.
The restaurant has better, had more ingredients, and the hamburger of Del Puente. The meat is juicier than the El Portal. The restaurant has better, how do you say ambiente?
Environment.
Okay, the restaurant has better environment and put better music than the puente.
El portal doesn't online sell hamburgers. El portal say more types of the food than the puente.
Del puente hamburgers are cheaper than the El Portal.
El portal sells El portal sells more types of drinks than the puente.
The French fries are crisper than the El Portal French fries.
El portal has more restaurant in Shela than the puente.
Del puente service is faster than the El Portal.
El portal restaurant is bigger than the puente restaurant.
Okay. You have some figures like in comparative and superlative adjectives are some irregular adjectives like good. The correct form is better in comparative and best in superlative. Okay?
Okay.
CLT, the communicative language teaching in the real life is used when the students are involved in real situations where the target language, in this case the English, is the native language, like a conversation with a foreigner or in a foreign country.
Then the student has to think, speak, and answer in the target language, in this case English. An example will be when the person has to order in a restaurant using the target language.